How's it going, guys, and welcome to today's video. So in this video I'm going to be removing the center console here and getting it ready for painting. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is take this gear knob off here, remove this cigarette lighter section here, and take off this lower bit. I have my trim tools, and see, if you look just on this side, you'll see that there is a 14mm nut that needs to be wound down from this. You can then screw up the gear knob, and I believe you pop it from this section here and up along here. So I'm going to do that now. So I have my plastic trim tool here, and I'm going to try and work it in along the sides and up along there to remove it from the clips. Maybe if you were to reach in along there as well, you could possibly pull it out too from that side. So I'll just disconnect this here, cigarette lighter, move that off, and disconnect the hazard warning as well. So now I have my first piece removed that I'm going to be painting, and if you look just in there, there is screws that hold on the gator, so I'll be taking that out. I'll be taking this button out, and I will be taking the cigarette lighter out as well. So I'll just have this piece left, and I won't have to do any masking at all. So easy prep on this particular item. The next stage in removing this piece, there is two screws here. Let me look a bit further. Japanese Hondas usually have bolts on these here. Okay, so that looks to be loose. That's what that looks to be. And let me see this one. Yeah, they're not even in. Okay, somebody who was at this before didn't put it back right. Excellent. So I believe that, yeah, look at that. Okay, so if you were removing that, you'd have to take them out, but somebody didn't put it back in right, so they're just loose. Let's have a look here. Alright, that's starting to move. I'm going to put my trim tool up along here now, because there's more than likely some clips holding it from the top side, but this whole piece feels like it's close to removing now. Maybe if I just shimmy up with my fingers. Well, that was extremely easy. I was not expecting that. Alright, I'm going to set this back up on the tripod. Just changed angles. Popping this out of position. So you have electrical connector there. Remove the aerial. Another one here. Another one here. They're just push button clips. And one on this side as well. And that is it. We have the whole unit out in a couple of minutes. Very, very simple. Just said I'd give you a look. The bolts are meant to be slotted all the way in there and tightened. And when they're tightened there, you'd never be able to get that out as easy. Just looking here, you would have to take down the glove box to gain access to this side here, and you will have to, there's a little piece here, you would remove that to gain access to the other. There are 8 mils on either side. It's not difficult anyways, it's pretty straightforward. The glove box just pops out and so does that plastic piece. But we didn't need to do that, we'll need to do it for the reinstall though. That is the unit out. You can see the scratches that I'll be chasing after. And I need to separate these pieces now. So to take this unit out, there's going to be screws. How many is in it? One up the back, 2, there's 3, and I will need to pop these off as well. So I'll need to pop them off, and yeah, I'll probably need to pop them caps off. Let's see. Oh, look at that. So just pop and pop. Very easy again. These pieces, what's holding them in? They're probably just pushed in as well. Might have to get a trim tool or a pick just to go in around the back of them. Yeah, might just get my my pick to go in the back of that and see if it just pulls through. I just brought it out to the workbench so I could film it properly. Just got a little pick here, a little hook. Yeah, and that pops up. That's 3. Alright, so with them removed, I just have 3 more screws and that whole unit will come out. So I'm going to do that first. And the last one is in there. And what I do sometimes, if I'm unsure of how quick I'm going to be putting it back together, basically if I can't get this painted tonight, and depending on work I mightn't be able to get it done immediately, I just get a bit of tape and I screw, and I get a bit of tape and I stick it on to the panel so I don't get mixed up with any of the screws or where they go, so I know exactly where they are. So that's that piece. To remove these buttons here, 1 screw, 2 screw, and that's removed as well. Alright, so if we want to take out the radio, we've got this 8mm or Phillips, whichever you want to use, on either side, and I believe that should just slide out then. Alright, so we have the radio removed, as easy as that. Not too difficult. There is 6 of them in total on the top ones. Lastly, if you wanted to remove, so if you were changing the radio, you would be taking this out and you'd be putting another piece in. It'd be them, let me see, there should be a second one there, there should be 4. but there's only 2 on this one. I will be changing that. I'll be putting another one back in there again because, as you can see, it's a bit rattly. Just about to remove these plastic pieces here of the door handles, and I just wanted to show you how terrible the painting was. See how that's just lifting? I just ran a little screwdriver along and you can see how easy that is actually peeling. So that's terrible. In a handle like that, you want something that grips, so you obviously want plastic primer on that before you would paint on top of it, because it's where someone's going to be gripping. If somebody's wearing rings or anything like that, they're going to be scraping, catching, and that's going to get marked up real easy. And if you have just a rattle can job done with no prep underneath, it's going to peel back and going to look nasty. So that's what was done there. And to remove these handles, I just want to show you this real quick. There is a little hole at the back there, and I slot this into it and it pops out, and that's how you get that unit out. Alright guys, so I need your advice on this one. Something has kind of drawn my attention a lot more since the unit has been removed, and when I have this all painted really nice and shiny and have my handles shiny and an extremely rare and good color, this unit in this type of color, if it was a completely black unit, I wouldn't be thinking this way, but it's an off silver color, and will it just stand out really bad with that Mazda color behind it? And if so, should I now, before I go painting, decide to put in a different head unit, or even a double din unit, and get a piece around it and then paint that at the same time? What do you think? If you were doing it, would you decide to replace that unit now, or would you think that it'll still look really good with the standard head unit in place? I don't know. I'm not liking the look of it now. The more I look at it, the more I think, yeah, it's going to look out of place. But before I go on to the actual painting stage, I'll be priming it and all that, and that's no issue because I'll just have one extra piece to reprime. I can get this prepared, but I'm going to post up this video and I'd appreciate what you think I should do with that. If you think I should leave it, I'll go ahead and paint it. If you think I should change it out for a single unit or a double din, go ahead and say that, and then I can go get ordering bits and finish this piece off with a new unit in it. So what I have to start off is just some 320. This is a heavier grade of sandpaper, but because I'll be priming this, I'm not worried about deeper scratches at the start. I'll be using 320 and maybe 400 then 800, or straight up to 800 before I prime it. The main thing I want to do with this is peel back all of that spray so that I get very good adhesion the next time. I don't want any of this to be able to flake up no matter how much of use the radio gets or the controls get. I want to always make sure that this stays very good, like a factory finish. that's pretty much that prepared in a large degree. I might go over with a little bit finer in some areas, but not much. I'll be putting tiny bit of body filler in there anyways, maybe a little bit here as well. But the most important thing when you're doing a job like this is grip. So you want to scratch everywhere. You want to make sure that the paint can stick, all the corners, everywhere that has a possibility of lifting. You want to be able to scratch all of those areas with sandpaper in the corners here, because if it lifts in one place, then it can pull. So full adhesion all the way around is the key. Like, doing this brings me back to when I was first ever doing plastic repair work. So back then it was on what was I doing? A color coding a bumper on a Ford car. So it was a 97 car. It was early 2000s I was doing this, and when I was speaking to Ford, they were telling me them particular bumpers at the time could not be painted. The material that was in the plastic would reject the paint and it would just peel and it would go away. But it was my own project car at the time, and I said to myself, it's worth a go. So I contacted the different body reps that we had and tried to find out what plastic primer would be the very best to give it a good chance to grip, and Standox was the plastic primer I used at the time. But I sanded it down really hard, aggressively, heavy grit sandpaper, fined it out, and then I plastic primed it and then color coded after that. It never ever lifted the whole time I owned the car, and even after that when I sold it on, the paint never came off that bumper. So preparation in it is vital, and if you use the right products, you're going to get a very good result. I'll insert some pictures of that car if I can find them, so you can actually see what I was talking about. Like, doing your own project cars, for example, if you're in the industry or if you're not, it gives you so much knowledge just by doing the likes of that and figuring it out for yourself and going from there. Like that particular car, I was doing body work, preparation work since my early teens, very early teens, and our workshop here has always done body work side by side with mechanical, but I was only involved in prep and helping out, and it was when I got my own car, it did not matter if I messed it up. It was trial and error. I was able to get the spray gun and do whatever I want. I put on an MCR front bumper, and it came in two pieces. I had to mold on the whole thing, basically drill and bolt it onto the car and then flush it all around and spray it, and yeah, it came out really good. But it was a case of doing it yourself. You get the feel for it, and then you get to know what things works and what things don't. And all of them years ago, using plastic primer on that bumper gave me great courage, because I done it on the interior. Then after that as well, I plastic primed all the interior, and like I said, nothing ever lifted. It always stayed like the day I painted it. No chips ever came. It still had a high gloss finish to it with the lacquer coating, and it came out really nice. So this video is stretching on quite a bit. I'm going to sand the other piece, the two pieces over there for the door handles, and that will pretty much wrap up this video for now. Please make sure you comment on the radio, because I do want to make a decision on that very fast, so that, because if I'm buying it overseas, I don't know where I'm going to be getting it from, but if it could have a few week delivery time, I don't know. So yeah, comment down below and let me know what you think on that. All finished with the prep work now, except for a small bit of filling, but that is it. I really enjoy this type of stuff. You can make the car unique to yourself and give it that touch of your own personal your own personal style. And it's like when I done that car years and years ago, I was able to make it one of a kind, unique, and whether you hated it or you loved it, it didn't matter. It's just about what you like to do yourself, and what your taste is, and what comes out on your creativity from doing a project, whether it's modifying the engine, or whether it's changing the wheels, or styling the interior, or whatever. It's just them little touches that make it feel a bit more your own. That's it. I'll stop rambling on. So that is it for this video, guys. The next video you see on this will be the painting, the primer and painting of this, and it will look a hell of a lot better than it does now. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one.